I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. This is a piano that we just finished that's essentially our lowest level of restoration. We on one level or another, we restore or work on or refurbish about 100 pianos a year for people, for customers, and actually from all over the country. We just counted up last month, and it was 14 pianos, 14 long distance piano moves that we did. So they're literally from all over, but they're not all full restorations. Like, for example, let's look at this one real quick. Obviously, this is a full restoration that we're doing. There's an upright on its back. This is actually about from the same era of the piano that I'm going to show you. You can see you've got severe cracks in the soundboard and severe cracks in the bass apron and the bass bridge there. Just doing a complete rebuild. Got the soundboard out altogether on a different piano there, and then there's a Chickering from Louisiana that's a over 100-year-old piano, brand new paint job on the plate, looks gorgeous. So these are examples of and a bunch of these examples of pianos that we're doing more significant levels of restoration, and I think that I think my YouTube channel has probably kind of gotten recognized more for this level of restoration. This is a lower level of restoration. So what this differentiates from those that I'm showing you, where those were essentially replacing everything, redoing everything, new bridges, new paint job on the plate, new hammers, new strings, all of that. This one, we're keeping everything original to 1905, or some of the parts have been replaced in the intervening 100 years. And we're just keeping everything original and making them all function as well as they possibly can. Now, not every piano is a candidate for this level of restoration. A lot of them, especially from like pre-1930, they're not a candidate for this level of restoration because they're just too far gone. And so often when they're that bad, my advice is, yeah, maybe we can do this, but it's more of a crutch, and it's not going to get by us that much more time, like maybe 5 or 10 more years. But this one was kind of an exception. This is in a relatively smaller representative sample with pianos from this era that was actually in pretty good shape. I think it was really well built when it was originally manufactured, and so a refurbishing, again, while not ideal, this is going to give this client, I think, much more time than the usual 5 or 10 years that this level of service buys. So we did nothing on the outside except for, I guess you could maybe call the keys and the pedals. Those are kind of a cosmetic thing. These keys were all scratched up and in terrible condition, and so we just cleaned those up to give them a little bit better appearance. Same with the pedals. Those pedals were dull, and so with the exception of those two things, nothing on the outside was done. All of the work was on the inside. Okay, so let's check it out. On a refurbish, getting all of the original components to function as well as they can in spite of their age. First thing that we do is we clean it very thoroughly. Every piano, even older than 10 years old, and I'm not sure exactly when this piano was last cleaned. I don't think it was 100 years ago, but regardless, every piano, the first thing we do is we take everything out. We take the action out, take all the keys out, everything, strip it down as bare skeleton as we possibly can, take everything outside, and we just start with an air compressor. Just blow it out. It usually takes, it's like 20 minutes or 30 minutes of using that air compressor, just blowing everything, and it's literal plumes of dust. You've got to wear like a complete face protective mask, and then we get cleaner and cleaner with scrubbing things down, and then eventually get to the Q-tips to get it clean. Okay, next thing we do is we reshape hammers. So you can see how the hammer has a nice rounded shape. You don't want those hammers too rounded or too pointy. There's kind of a happy medium, sort of an egg shape hammer that you want. You also don't want grooves, which happens on all of these hammers. They get grooves where they contact the string, and that causes lots of problems. It just causes an ugly tone, kind of a nasally tone, an inconsistent tone, and so reshaping them takes care of that. It also gives a nice canvas, I guess you could say, a nice blank canvas to then voice the hammers, get them voicing. Quick I guess summary of voicing is essentially manipulating the density of the felt in the hammers. The harder the hammer, the brighter it is, the softer the hammer, the darker. That's a quick summary. Okay, then we go through and tighten all the screws and align everything and repin, like the hammer flanges, for example. You can see we've got nice firm hammers there, which when we've got side to side wobble or loose pinning, that causes lots of problems. Again, inconsistencies, and it also mechanical, and it clicks even, causes lots of problems when you have pinning issues. So we go through and repin all of those. Then there's a lot of parts on the action that need to be lubricated, mostly having to do with the sustain pedal. So every time you engage the pedal right here, there's a lot of parts that are simultaneously moving, and a lot of times when you've got squeaks in the action or in the sustain pedal, it's not actually just the pedal, it's often something in the action that's squeaking, and so that can be frustrating for a piano player to constantly be dealing with a squeak, and it's not somewhere where people can easily access it in the like do-it-yourselfers will try and lubricate sometimes down there, and it just doesn't work if it's in the action. So we go through and lubricate that, and we use lubricants that will kind of impregnate into the felt, in hopes that that'll last a few years anyway, as opposed to a lubricant that will just kind of like a wet lubricant that will actually attract dust and make the problem worse down the road. But a dry lubricant is more the solution there. And then we go through and of course regulate everything, level the keys, work on the bushings so that the keys aren't wobbly, and then full regulation. What I'm referring to there is everything from making these keys nice and level, to ensuring that the distance you can depress the key is not too deep and not too shallow, to ensuring that when you play that note, you can see it kind of pauses right there, about 1/8 of an inch. You want that very specific, and you can see if you look very closely, you can see right here, boom, there's our let off. You want that let off distance to be 1/8 of an inch from the string. And then checking distance, you want about two-thirds of the way from the hammer at rest to the string. When I'm holding that key down, that hammer is being held in check. You want it about 2/3 of the way. That gives you a nice repetition, nice feel. And then regulating other things like the dampers. You can see that when I engage that sustain pedal, they all pull away at the same time. Same with here. You can see that damper starts to engage right about there, right about 1/3 of the way. That hammer travels about 1/3 of the way before that damper starts to engage. So, and then a few more specs that have to be right on in order for the touch to be consistent. What you're going for in regulation, you want to maximize repetition, the speed at which you can repeat, and maximize your power or really your dynamic range. So you want to enable the pianist to be able to play triple pianissimo all the way to triple fortissimo, everything in between, have nice control over the action, and so that's what all of that does. It's a pretty ingenious mechanism, all of that. Okay, then here, same kind of thing, same kind of overarching, I guess, philosophy where everything is clean. Take all of this apart, lubricate all of that, and try to, it's impossible, but try to ensure that it's not going to start squeaking in the future. That's kind of tricky sometimes, but we do our best. So there it is, 1905. Basically everything's original. Looks like someone, for example, has replaced the bridle straps at some point. We've got some dampers that were replaced at one point. We've got some broken strings that have been tied, for example, that one. And then some new strings over here, up there in the top. That's not terribly uncommon for strings to break up there. So I guess, well, let's play it. Nice subtle tone. Which, yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, really powerful tone. I think this piano took to the refurbishing really well. So, yeah, for some people that don't necessarily have the budget to do a full restoration, or the desire, or maybe not necessarily the intention, maybe to pass it down to grandchildren, which when we're doing a full restoration, that's kind of the goal, is to perpetuate a family legacy for another 2 or 3 generations. That's not for everyone, and so this is a really good option for turning that piano around, giving it another life, at least for this generation. Thanks for watching.